Hi there, my name is Lamont. I am bringing a video about Texe Marrs and President Obama and the connection there with the Jesuits. Okay, I've created an article and I put it on my blog. It's called Vatican New World Order blogspot.co.uk, and I will leave the link on so you can read the article. I go into this whole connection really between Obama and the Jesuits and Texe Marrs and the Jesuits, and the question really is, does Texe Marrs reveal the truth? Or is he really a Jesuit agent, a Jesuit temporal coadjutor, scaremonger in disguise, really? Who is he? Who is Texe Marrs? Well, you will find I put a picture on the website that exposes this. It's from Texe Marrs' own website, Exposing Mystery Babylon. And at the top you will see a picture of Texe Marrs. Under that, a banner in which he has wrote himself, ex-Catholic graduate of University of Notre Dame and Jesuit Law School, unmasks the hidden conspiracy of the Pope, the Vatican, the Jesuits and the Zionist elite for a new world order at the end of all things. So he mentions the Jesuits, he mentions the Pope, but when you go into his material, all he does is expose the fact that the Zionist elite control the Pope. Of course, disinformation, solving the mystery of Babylon the Great. Of course he doesn't do that. He's covering for the Jesuits of Rome. And there's a video on there of Texe Marrs in the studio with Alex Jones, you know, touching on the Jesuits. But Texe Marrs really is not exposing the Illuminati. He's not exposing, you know, the elite, as he calls them, or as Alex Jones calls them, the global elite, you know. They're both agents of Rome, both covering for the Jesuit Order. And he's serving the Catholic Church, just like Alex Jones, you know. They're both CIA, both run by military intelligence, of course they are. And you'll find that it's ironic that Texe Marrs brought out a book called Rothschild's Choice, in which it's a very weak revelation, very weak, but he tries to make out that the Rothschilds control Obama, when the truth is, what he doesn't reveal is that Obama has a Jesuit doctoral degree from Notre Dame University, the same Jesuit law school in which Texe Marrs was a graduate. So they're both Jesuit trained, both connected to the Society of Jesus, both of them. But what Texe Marrs will not bring out is the fact that it's not the Zionists that rule the New World Order, it's the Jesuit Order. And he has what's called a Schindler's List. He brought that out, you know. It's really a take on Schindler's List. It's called Swindler's List. And he, you know, goes into exposing the Zionists, the Jews in power, and he lists many Zionist Jewish men, women in Obama's administration. Of course there are Jewish men and women in Obama's administration, the same as the Council on Foreign Relations, but what's very interesting is that what he doesn't expose is the fact that Joseph Biden, the US Vice President, is a Roman Catholic who graduated from Santa Clara Jesuit University. Doesn't expose that. And also St. Joseph's University. Also Tom Vilsack, head of the Department of Agriculture, is a Roman Catholic Jesuit trained man who is a Jesuit alumni. And you have James L. Jones, National Security Advisor, who's a Roman Catholic Jesuit trained. Even Keith Alexander, the head of the NSA, is a Roman Catholic Vatican Knight of Rome. Obama is surrounded by Roman Catholic Jesuit trained intelligence leaders who all graduate from Georgetown University and various other Jesuit universities. That's what Texe Marrs will not reveal. Although we can prove that there are Jews at the highest levels of the CFR and in the media, and even some in Obama's administration, because they're put out there, of course, you know, to blame the New World Order on the Jews. And 8 alumni of the 28 Jesuit colleges and universities currently serve in appointed positions to the US President Barack Obama's administration. 54 alumni are currently members of the 11th US Congress. Members of the Obama administration form AGCU institutions include Central Intelligence Agency Director Leon Panetta, who graduated from Santa Clara Jesuit University in 1960 with a BA, exactly the same as Joe Biden. So here we had the, head of the CIA, graduated from a Jesuit University, the same as Joe Biden. Obama has a Jesuit doctoral degree from Notre Dame University. So all of these men like Texe Marrs, not just Texe Marrs, but all of these agents, they don't go into the fact that all of the politicians in the American government, and NSA, CIA, Homeland Security, even Obama's administration, even in Congress itself, they all come from Jesuit alumni universities. That's the truth. And if you go on the article I'm putting on this video, I'll leave the website link, you can read the name of all of these officials and you'll be shocked. You'll be surprised just how many Jesuit agents are really buried into the American government. And they're all Jesuit temporal coadjutors. They're all working for the Jesuit Order. So don't forget about Joe Biden also. He is the real president, the real acting president with 2 Jesuit degrees. As I've said, one from the University of Scranton, Santa Clara, and another from St. Joseph's University. Yes, he's a Jesuit coadjutor. He's working for the Black Pope, working for his Jesuit provincials from Jesuit Georgetown University, Fordham University, and that's the truth. All the other departments in the American government, including Homeland Security, are run by Jesuit alumni. A Jesuit alumni is really a high Jesuit who has a high Jesuit doctoral degree from a Jesuit university. Why is it that the American government is staffed with Jesuits through every department? I mean, Homeland Security with Secretary Janet A. Napolitano has a Santa Clara University 1979 BA. All you have to do is just look into this Jesuit alumni structure. Texe Marrs doesn't expose that. He will touch on one or two, a few here and there in the CFR and a few Jews here, there and everywhere. But at the very top, the ones in power, they have the highest Jesuit degrees. That's the truth. The American Congress is run by Jesuits who come from Jesuit universities. They are alumni. Among the 535 members of the 11th US Congress, 54 of them are alumni, but also a lot of them are Vatican Knights, High Masons under the power of the Black Pope. And the agents never bring it out. You'll never hear David Icke talk about this. You'll never hear Alex Jones talk about this because he's CIA, military intelligence. Let me share something about Mr. Texe Marrs just to give some background on this man. Give some revelation on who he really is, not who he appears to be. Well, first of all, Texe Marrs is covering for the Jesuit Order. That's who he's covering for. The Society of Jesus, as all of them are, really. Now, Texe Marrs served as a decorated US Air Force officer in Germany, Asia, and Italy. That itself is, that's acceptable, nothing wrong with that. But he was also in charge of communications, electronics, engineering units, and was called Airman of the Year while he was serving at the Korat Air Force Base. This really means that Texe Marrs was deeply involved in the US military's electronic warfare operations at Korat. This means he is military intelligence. Let me repeat that again. Texe Marrs served as a decorated US Air Force officer in Germany, Asia, Italy, and was in charge of communications, electronics, engineering units, and was called Airman of the Year while he was serving at the Korat Air Force Base. That means he is deeply involved in US military electronic warfare. The man is CIA. Always was. Always will be. And then he went on to become a professor of aerospace studies at the University of Texas, another Jesuit university, where he taught strategic weapon systems. Listen to this. Texe Marrs taught strategic weapon system and American defense policy, which really means he was CIA, really, at those two universities. And he still doesn't mention the Jesuits, even though he was Jesuit trained. And he taught political science, international affairs and psychology. And these men expect us to trust them. They're liars. They're deceivers. In reality, many of these agents are in reality military intelligence operatives. That's what they are. David Icke, of course, being MI6. But John Maxwell, he also is a Jesuit agent. They're all Jesuits. That's why they do not truly resist the Jesuit Order. They're working for the intelligence agencies across the world. And you will never hear Texe Marrs go through the list of all of the Jesuit alumni in the American government. The Jesuits of Rome are wolves. The Jesuit Superior General once said, "We came in like lambs and we will rule like wolves. We will be expelled like dogs and return like eagles." That was Francesco Borgia, the third Superior Jesuit General. We have today 3 black popes sitting in their white chairs. We have 3 Jesuit generals. It's the first time ever in the 500 years of Jesuit history that there have been 3 superior generals at one time. Pope Francis being the one in command, of course, because they're planning their final World War III before their coming Messiah, who will be the Pope of Rome, and true Christians call Antichrist. So we have today the era of 3 generals. And the Jesuits are the cause of this world's pain and suffering, and they need to be expelled and resisted. But ultimately we know that Bible prophecy will come to pass. The Jesuit general will become the Antichrist. He will be the Pope of Rome. But really I'm bringing this video out just to expose the fact that America is ruled by the Jesuit Order. And you find that all of these agents like Texe Marrs, Alex Jones, all of them, every single one of them never reveal the fact that all of these politicians come from Jesuit universities. All of them. They're all alumni. This includes the Senate, the House of Representatives. All of that leadership is Jesuit trained. Even the Speaker of the House. They're all Jesuit alumni and receive their graduates from professional degrees from Jesuit universities. Why don't the agents reveal this? The information's online, and you'll find that in the American government they all come from Boston College, the College of the Holy Cross, Fordham University, Marquis, Creighton, Detroit Mercy. They all come from Jesuit universities like Jesuit Georgetown, Notre Dame. In fact, if you're not Jesuit trained, you're not at the highest positioned. That's the truth. Obama is nothing more than a Jesuit tool, a Jesuit puppet. He has no power. It's the Jesuit provincials from Georgia who pull his strings. They have the power over him. Same with Joe Biden. So just unplug from the agents. Don't listen to anything they have to say, even though they bring out some truth. If they didn't bring out some truth, they'd have no credibility. But ultimately, they're gatekeepers, they're guarding, and they're covering for Rome. When you go into the real New World Order, you will find that the Jesuits of Rome, they control all of the world leaders, and they position them from their Jesuit universities. And if you go on Texe Marrs' website, it's called, actually I would advise you to Google this. Actually I'll put a link on for this. It's called Solving the Mystery of Babylon. I mean, you've got to read this, It's, his revelation, his exposure is so weak. It's just ridiculous. Trying to, convince people that the Jews, control the Vatican. They control the Pope. They created the Illuminati. Just because, the Rothschilds were Jewish. But Adam Weishaupt was a Jesuit. Doesn't go deep into that. Honestly, my God, Do these people really think we're this stupid? Some are, Some are stupid, It's not their fault. They're just, they're looking for the truth and they take it all in, And that's what these men do. They just guard the true conspiracy. They don't bring them the truth about the Jesuits. They don't bring them the truth about the Black Papacy or the Black Pope. So people are just dumbed down. The sheeple are locked away from the revelation of the real Jesuitical New World Order. And so thank you for watching the video. I'll leave the relevant links on for my blog and links on Texe Marrs and so on. And God wants to give us wisdom. God wants to give us revelation. He doesn't want us to be ignorant. He doesn't want us to be dumbed down. He wants us to know the truth, because the truth sets us free. Thank you for watching the video. My name is Lamont, and as always, All roads lead to Rome, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth.